Oh scheisse, there's a teaser for Total War Warhammer 3 gameplay. Now this is something that I got to play a little while ago and I will have more information on it next week, but for now, let's have a look at what we can see.
Hello Total War Warhammer fans!
So first of all, we see what appears to be a new legendary lord, perhaps a caster.
No, mate, it's
What?
just Frankie Ward, mate.
Hey!
It's just Frankie Ward. It's not a legendary lord.
Oh, you're joking.
No.
Ah, bollocks.
The moment you have been waiting for has
So the first thing we can actually see is this pretty hellish looking landscape. Very fire and brimstone, looking like some sort of chaos realm, as it does say on the Steam page. We're going into the chaos realms. And this very much looks like it could be a chaos realm. Also reminds me of the Oblivion demon world. I can't remember what it was called in Oblivion, but you used to go through the gates and then it was the demon world and you had to kill all the demons. But it looks like that. That's what I'm trying to say. We can also see some walls in the background on the left and some towers like we see arrow towers on our sieges at the moment. Kinda resembles that. So we've got some fortifications going on in this realm. We can also see some bloodletters, of course, with big two-handed weapons, probably a damage dealer type infantry, for the big bad angry man, Uncle Khorne, who of course we saw in the announced trailer for Warhammer 3 along with those bloodletters, and they appear to be marching towards something.
almost arrived. Join us.
Next we see a couple of infantries, one charging towards the other, looking like some Khorne-based chaos warriors with halberds there, charging towards what is assumedly a Kislev infantry, as it says Kislev and there's a bear on the shield. Again, kind of resembling who we saw in the trailer, big heavy infantry with a shield and a sword by the looks of it. So a look at a couple of infantry units there.
For the world premiere of some brand
And then we have pretty much the same thing again, but charging towards each other. Those halberds kind of looking like a great axe now though, so maybe those are great weapon Khorne chaos warriors or something. And then two other things we can notice in this shot is the portal on the left, in the top left, you see there's a portal. Maybe that has some significance to what's going on. And also in the top right, you notice this little thing. Looking like some kind of cannon with a guy stood on the end, but it kind of looks weird at the bottom, so what could it be?
Total
On from there, we see the Ice Queen herself, Katarine Bocca, dropping some icy magic on some enemies there by the looks of it. We can see some massive ice shards in the distance and all around her as well.
War Warhammer 3
And then the next shot, we see some of that ice magic in action. Probably this spell that we saw from the distance. Big ice shard sticking out the ground. Likely a big damage explosion AoE spell type thing. And also in this shot, we can see some blood crushers, the mounted chaos warrior types looking very heavy. So it's a safe bet to think that Khorne's army is going to be very heavily armored. Again, we saw this all in the trailer, the announcement trailer. So this is nothing really new, but nice to see them in action. But we can see more bloodletters here with bright orange weapons. You can see all the little orange lines around, which seemingly is different from the bloodletters we saw earlier, who had that big two-handed sword or whatever. So two different kinds of bloodletters, at least it seems. But the main draw of this image, you might not notice up in the top right corner, some sort of massive ice polar bear. Looking like he's facing off with some sort of greater demon there. As you can see, a wing flapping around. So Kislev maybe going to have some big large monsters to play with, which would be pretty damn cool.
battle gameplay and a new
And then we see Wojtek from Iron Harvest, or just some Kislevite with a bear. Could be a hero, could be a lord. Got a big bow on his back as well, looking at the nice sky. So this isn't in the Chaos Waste. This is clearly some sort of icy, nice home Kislev area. But maybe that is somebody. If you know who that might be, if you're a Kislev lore nerd, let me know. Let me know.
cinematic trailer. Get ready to conquer your demon.
And then we see some big chunky boy, greater demon fellow of Khorne, I guess, coming from maybe that portal again. We can also see some units coming out of the portal below. So it looks like the portals might be significant, but this beefcake looks pretty large. He's looking like he's going to be larger than the large that we know. Currently maybe a Shaggoth or a Rotting Leviathan is the biggest kind of single large monster we know, but this looks much bigger than those. So whether we're going to have some extra large on top of our large, we'll see. But looking like he's going to be a pretty big damage dealer. Maybe he'll have some kind of magic as well. Maybe he can fly. He's got those big ass wings. I suppose the tabletop nerds might know whatever he could do in tabletop, he could probably do here. So let us know.
As we invade the realms of chaos.
Then we see a big cav charge. Looks like into the flank of some Khorne units. You can see the wings on their back as well, so maybe some winged lancers or some Griffin Legion. I'm not sure what the difference was. Again, Kislev lore nerds, hit me up. So we've seen some Kislev infantry, we've seen an extra large polar bear thing and cavalry, some big heavy cavalry by the looks of it. So fair to say Kislev's playstyle is going to be kind of similar to the human playstyles we have already. The Empire with their good cavalry, Bretonnia with the good cavalry. But having the monster in there is a nice addition to make them a little bit different from what we already have in the Empire and Bretonnia. Also, a few things to look at in the landscape of this picture. We can see lots of fiery pits and things around, but there's also what seems to be an arrow tower there. You can see there's a straight line coming down from it towards the troops. So some kind of CG fortifications going on. But what could it all mean?
We can't wait
And then we finish on that probably legendary lord. She's definitely a caster. Look at those hands. She's casting a spell on me. Whew. Anyway.
to see you there.
And then we see the crucial information, global gameplay reveal, May 13th. That means me and all these other Total War bastards will be revealing the gameplay that we got to play of this on that day. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I will endeavour myself to give you every single little piece of information I possibly can about what I find. So there we go, our very first look at some Warhammer 3 gameplay. It's nice to see some of the stuff in action. A lot of it we already kind of knew about from the announced trailer, right? So there's not that much new here, but there's a few interesting questions that need to be asked. And unfortunately, of course, I can't answer them because I'll get sued. But you can make of this what you will. I think there's a lot here that's fairly plain and simple. It's still going to be Total War Warhammer that we always knew. It's just going to be new factions, new armies, hopefully some new modes and new things to play with, new ways to play campaign, and also hopefully, fingers crossed, a decent multiplayer experience, at least more so than what we got in Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2. I'm not super optimistic about that happening, but here's hoping, eh? Here's hoping. It's also going to be super interesting to see how these new factions interact with the old factions of Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2, and how that's all going to balance together, and also how that's going to translate into campaign. Mortal Empires is already a pretty big, grand affair. Are we going to expand it even further with this? Are they going to do a Mortal Empires? Maybe they won't bother. I imagine they will though, as most people tend to play Mortal Empires, but that's going to be pretty hefty. And with most people not really finishing campaigns anyway, it's going to be curious to see whether they'll go that big and whether it's necessary. Maybe smaller campaigns are the better way to go. I don't know. I don't know anything. There was nothing about campaign in this presentation we got when we got to play it, so I'm all just speculating on the campaign stuff. But it's exciting times. It's exciting to get new factions. I'll be excited to make some new guides and new videos. I haven't made a faction army guide since Vampire Coast in November, what, 2019? Maybe? So it's been a while. I'll be looking forward to covering all this new stuff. Hopefully you'll be looking forward to watching it. And of course, we're all going to look forward to playing it. But it's still going to be kind of weird because Warhammer 2 it's 4 years old now. We've been playing it for a long time. It's become my life personally over the past 4 years. So moving on from that is going to be kind of strange. But obviously, we're still going to be getting all this stuff from before. It's just going to be under the title of Warhammer 3 now with a bunch of new stuff. But it's still going to be weird. Let me know what you think though. How are you feeling about Warhammer 3? How are you feeling about everything you've seen? I imagine most people are going to be excited, but is anyone a little bit skeptical of things for some reason? Let me know. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the future.